Women's 200 meter dash at the USA Olympic Trials. Now, let's start off the bat with, if you're telling me that you have a very clear top three for this event, you're just straight up lying. This is easily one of the most competitive, one of the most deep, one of the most confusing, one of the most, like everything. This is so tough to pick who is going to be in the top three going to the Olympic Games to represent the United States in Paris later on this summer. But that's what we're gonna do today. So let me talk about some of the women who are in the field. And then of course, I'm gonna give you my top three as we look forward to the Olympic trials in just a few days. So first off, of course, I think this is very, very clear in terms of one woman who's definitely going to make the team. We're talking about Gabby Thomas. She has been, the mainstay when talking about the 200 over the past couple years, right? Even dating back to like 2018 when she, went pro out of the University of Harvard. But she, of course, has a personal best of 21.60 seconds. She, of course, is a silver medalist from the World Championships last year in Budapest, bronze medalist at the last Olympic Games in Tokyo 2021. So she, of course, again, has been the most consistent sprinter in the 200 meter dash that we've seen from the United States since probably Allison Felix left and all that. So huge shout outs to Gabby Thomas. I think that, she is, I'm going to say it right now, she's probably my favorite to get the win here. We're going to see how things play out, but I'm not sure exactly what time she's going to run, right? She's had kind of an up and down season on the surface, but if you look in the past, she hasn't had that crazy of a season. Yes, she didn't run well at the LA Grand Prix, did the same thing last year. New York City, she ran into a very strong headwind, but her 22.4 was actually a pretty good performance. Let's also not forget that last year, after not running well at the LA Grand Prix, she ran 21.6 at the US Olympic Trials. After not running well at the Monaco Diamond League, don't forget that, she ran terrible there, but then she went on to the Budapest World Championships and ran 21.8 for a silver medal. So Gabby Thomas, I think she knows what she's doing, and she's going to be ready to not only make this team, but then also go to the Olympic Games, potentially challenge for a gold medal. I don't know, we're gonna see. But also shout out, she's gonna be doubling up in the 400 and the 200. I think she's in such good form that it's not gonna matter too much. Also, the 400 is in the first half of the Olympic trials, 200 is in the second half, essentially a full week apart, no worries on that. Gabby Thomas, definitely the top contender to look out for here. Now, behind her, this is a full pack of women who are going to be contending for two spots that, this is gonna be so tough. I wanna talk about Brittany Brown. Now, Brittany Brown, 2019 World Championship silver medalist in the 200. Last year, she skipped out on the 200, only focused on the 100, made it to the World Championships on the team, made it to the World Championship final, and did really well there. So shout out to Brittany Brown. Here, she is only focusing in on the 200. So she's not gonna be dealing with the 100. She is all heads down. She has a personal best of 21.99 seconds, so not nearly as fast as some of the other women that we'll talk about, but her season's best 22.32. Let's not forget, she just won the Oslo Diamond League a couple weeks ago, beating out some top names like a Jenna Prandini, like a Sharika Jackson. So she's very much in the mix to potentially get on this team once again, just like she did in 2023, just like she did in 2019. And who knows, she might get that personal best of 21.99 much farther down. But look out for Brittany Brown, definitely in the conversation. Can't go here without talking about Sha'Carri Richardson. She, of course, made the team last year in the 200. Personal best of 21.92 seconds. Got the bronze medal at the World Championships in Budapest. Of course, coming off that legendary gold medal in the 100 meters with that 10.65. She hasn't done well in the 200 this year, but those were her season's openers, right, all the way out in China at those two Diamond Leagues. So I don't think those are indicative of her capabilities in the 200 that we'll likely see at the Olympic trials. Coming off her 10.83 in the 100 at Prefontaine, I think that's a better indication of what she might be capable of. Probably getting close to her personal best in the 200, that 21.9. Let's also not forget that at the at the World Championship trials last year at USA's, she ran a windy 21.6 200 meter time, right? So she could drop into those 21.8s. I'd say maybe 21.8. So she's definitely in that conversation. Also, can't go without talking about McKenzie Long. McKenzie Long, like I said in the 100 meter video, she's coming off a legendary performance at the NCAA Championships, winning the sprint triple in the 100, 200, and 4x1. And I think her 200 meter performance was the top highlight from that meet for her. 21.83 seconds, gave her the world leading performance, gave her a massive personal best, and really put her in the conversation to make this team and potentially to win, right? I spoke to Gabby Thomas while she was out here at the New York City Grand Prix, and Gabby said that she was excited to race McKenzie Long, and I think it's gonna be a very, very great race. Now, do I know if McKenzie's gonna make the team? I don't know, stay tuned, gonna tell that at the end, my top three, but McKenzie very much in that conversation, and I think she could replicate her 21.83. Could replicate it, maybe get a little bit faster, or at least stay within that range. So huge shout outs to McKenzie Long. Also check out the podcast that Chris Chavez did on the Citius Mag Podcast. Amazing conversation with McKenzie Long. She's an amazing athlete, and she's going to be a mainstay for United States sprinting over the next decade plus. So shout outs to her. Also, can never forget about Tamara Clark. Tamara Clark is one of the biggest sleepers that people should not forget about when talking about both the 100, like I spoke about the other day, as well as the 200 meters. 21.92 personal best, season's best this year of 22.21 seconds. She made the World Championship team back in 2022, where she finished, I think, 5th place or 6th place at the World Championships in the final there. So she has the experience. She's been able to kind of go, compete with some of the best, whether it's at the World Championships, whether it's at the Diamond Leagues, whether it's at high quality competitions. Tamara Clark is not one that you should forget about, and I think she also has a very good shot to really shock the world. She didn't do well at USA's last year. I'm not exactly sure what kind of went on in that final, but she did, of course, run the prelims in the relay at the Budapest World Championships. So definitely people look out for Tamara Clark. Also, there's a lot of other women that I'm kind of like, this is so tough. This is so tough. You're talking about Abby Steiner. Abby Steiner, personal best of 21.77 from back in 2022 when she won USA's. Season's best only of 22.39 seconds, which she ran at the LA Grand Prix. She hasn't run since the LA Grand Prix, and I guess there's maybe questions on her health and if she's, injured. She did get, I think, surgery earlier this year, so it's going to be tough to see what status Abby Steiner is in. We're going to see her, of course, in the 100. Well, hopefully in the 100, we'll see kind of her health. But man, last year she got, 4th place at USA's, just missing the team. Came out that she, of course, was injured, which led to the surgery this year. She did start off really well, again, 22.3, but I don't know. That's going to be a wild card to see where Abby Steiner is out. But definitely keep a look out for her. She very likely could make the team. You also have to talk about Jameesia Ford. Jameesia Ford, coming out of the NCAA, she is still a U20 athlete. She ran 22.08 seconds, which is not only a U20 American record, but also the second fastest U20 athlete in the history of the 200 meters, only behind Christine Mboma. So that just speaks to the level of talent that Jameesia has been really putting down all throughout 2024. And her consistency in the 22-second range is really second to none. Of course, she's running in the NCAA, but don't think that because she's a U20, because she's a freshman, don't think that she can't come out here and really do some damage. I mean, South Carolina had a huge find in Jameesia Ford. I'm really looking forward to seeing what she's going to be able to do. So definitely keep a look out for Jameesia Ford. You also have someone like Tamari Davis, right? Tamari Davis arguably was probably a better quote-unquote 200-meter runner previously. I spoke to her at the down in Atlanta at the Edwin Moses Track Classic, and she actually said that she was kind of quote-unquote relearning the 200. She got like her Olympic trials qualifying mark there because she's been focused on the 100. Like I said in the 100-meter video, she made the team to the World Championships last year, made the World Championship final, so she has the experience, has been on multiple relays. Despite being young, she has the experience, and she could really pull an upset here, make the team, take some names down. We're going to see how that plays out. Also, last shout out I want to give is Anavia Battle. Anavia Battle has been a mainstay in a sense where she's been, competing on the world stage. Not too long ago, finished at Ohio State. She's definitely in the conversation. Made the Olympic team last time, right, in Tokyo 2021, along with Gabby Thomas, as well as along with Jenna Prandini. So we're going to see what Anavia Battle is able to do here. But those are some of the women. Of course, we're here, top 3 that I'm going with when talking about the 200-meter dash to the Olympic Games in Paris for the United States. Gabby Thomas, McKenzie Long, and Tamara Clark. This was so hard. And honestly, this is just an initial reaction. Once we see the 100-meter dashes and the 400 for Gabby, things can completely change. But I think Gabby Thomas, like I said at the top, she's a very, very clear, in my opinion, a quote-unquote lock to make the team, right? Whether or not she wins, I think she's, very comfortably going to win, but, she's a lock to make the team. Too consistent, and I think the fact that she is coming to, the Olympic trials to double proves that she is in some very, very good fitness, and I'm liking Gabby Thomas. I think she's probably going to replicate one of her performances. I don't know if she'll run like 21.5, but maybe she'll get into those 21.6s, maybe 21.7, but it's going to be a very, very good competition. And then McKenzie Long. I think this is going to be McKenzie Long's time. I think she's going to come and just keep rolling off of NCAAs. I don't know if she's going to exactly replicate that 21.83. I think she could get in that same range and run another 21.8, but I really like McKenzie Long to make this team here. And man, her story, definitely check out that conversation that Chris Chavez had on the Citius Mag Podcast. This would be huge for her. So shout out to McKenzie Long. And then finally, Tamara Clark. like I said last year, Tamara Clark, she didn't make the team. She really kind of faltered. I'm not exactly sure what happened at USA's last year, but I think this is going to be a motivator for her. She made it in 2022. She has the experience, and she is quietly one of the best 200-meter runners in the United States. Yes, personal best is only 21.92, but I think she has the capabilities of going 21.7. Now, am I saying that she's definitely going to do it here? I don't know, but I'm picking her to just slightly make the team. Now, again, I'm like splitting hairs here because I want to put Brittany Brown on the team. Brittany Brown, I think that she could be in the form of her life. She could drop like 21.8 here. Even Sha'Carri Richardson. I mean, Sha'Carri, yes, again, those 200s early on, they weren't too great, but she can come out here and drop 21.8. You even have someone like Jameesia Ford, right? I think that she could really do some damage and get, under 22 seconds, the first American, U20 to do so. This is going to be a very stacked field. Abby Steiner is going to be in the mix. It's hard for me to pick Abby Steiner only because I'm not sure of her status and her health, but if she's healthy, she can come out here and run 21.8. So, man, this is going to be a tough team to make. Like I said at the top, if you have a very clear and concrete top three, you're absolutely lying. I told you Gabby Thomas, McKenzie Long, Tamara Clark, but that's not concrete for me. I'm putting it down, but I could be completely wrong, and someone else can make the team. So let me know what you think about all these women in the 200-meter dash. Who do you think is going to make the top three? As always, go in the comments, put your top three in there, who you think is going to make the team, and what time do you think it's going to take to run? Are we going to see a 21.5? Are we going to see 21.4? Maybe not that fast, or are we going to see like a 21.9, a 21.8? I mean, it's Olympic trials, it's Eugene. This is going to be very fast. Let me know what you think. Always appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.